Hey everyone, it is Pee Wee here from Definitive Esports, and with me is my co-host Dan. And how are you doing, bro?
Not bad, not bad. This is I gotta admit, one of my favorite matchups. I love we'll talk about this a lot, but I love that positional play.
Yeah.
It's a lot of, it's a little, okay, it's fun to watch, maybe a little bit infuriating sometimes to play when it's so slow, but it's like chess. That's the title. It's the title
Pretty
of this
much.
week's episode.
There we are. Join game. Thank you.
Let's get you in the unit tester so we can
There we are. Okay.
Started.
So yeah, we're jumping into an AI, a custom game pretty much. It's a map test that just allows to build a lot of different units and test them and go through a bunch of different scenarios. And yeah, we do this to show you some nice like micro techniques. And of course, like this puts in a way that we're able to really define the importance of it. So as we start, let's build like 5 Marines. Of course, Marines are the most basic unit you can get, the fighting unit, that is. They're very cheap, they deal pretty good damage for their cost. They can't take a lot of damage really, but you can upgrade them to take more and other things. Oh, on.
Aha. Well, it was such a perfect line, I didn't want to break it.
Yay!
You can't go live.
And of course, this is an unwinnable fight. That's not good. Next up, we can show combat shield by Marines.
Yep.
By Marines with combat shield.
With combat shield or without?
Without for you.
Yep. Combat shield 100 gives plus 10 life.
Yeah.
Oh.
1 health left on 1 Marine. Yeah. That was a lot closer than it should have been. Of course, concaves do make a big difference. For example, if we build 5 Marines and you build 5 Marines, and if you do that line, then I'll run into you, and you have the concave. I'll run in a line. So yeah, if I run in like this and he is just like that, obviously he's gonna have a much better fight than me. And ooh, look at that, he might go in a bit. I should win.
Yep,
yeah.
you win.
Of course, that all comes down to to
Combat
combat shield. If it went for that, I would just died. Easy peasy. Next up is stim. Of course, if you get combat shield.
Yep. Still 5 Marines, or are we adding a couple more? 5 Marines.
Yeah. 5 Marines is like enough where you can watch them all without it being too much. Oh. Right there, I can guess. There we are.
Right, so you're going to use stim?
I'm going to use stim. Because it takes 10 health away and allows you to deal more damage faster. Because it shoots faster, it's not like your gun deals more damage per shot. Right, and of course, you ready?
Ready?
Right, go.
Right, so even though Pee Wee took some initial damage using that stim, that increase in attack speed is so great.
Yeah.
Even, I have combat shields, but that doesn't make a difference.
And it makes it more like advantageous as the game goes on, because of course,
Yep.
once you stim, you have 15 seconds where that stim counts for. So of course, if you get your full 15 seconds worth of, if you shoot for that entire 15 seconds, like it's, you're shooting, like I can't do the math, but it's like, I don't know, what's a good way to word it? If you got 15 seconds, as you can imagine, it's like 50% faster, so it's like 22 seconds in a sense. So if you shoot for that full 15 seconds, you do X more damage. If you died like a second in, you're only doing like an extra 3 damage, which is half a shot. Like,
Exactly.
so Marines, they become a lot more efficient with the stim as they go on during the fight. And of course, if you can overstim them and stuff like that.
But like if, for example, Peter's gonna run into me. I was gonna. Alright, there we go. So yeah, he'll kill that. So if I you killed that Marine. I was gonna say if I stim, if I run at Pewee all the way, if I try and run at Pewee's base with this one Marine, I stim all the way back here. By the time I get anywhere close to my opponent, stim will be almost.
Yeah, done now.
There we go. Right. So if I were at Pewee's, by the time I'd gotten to Pewee's base, it would have worn off. Which is why, as Pewee said, you don't want to just typically you don't want to just stim and run in from your base. You want to use it right before you're going to attack, so you can get the full effect.
Like if someone gets a preemptive stim out of you, if your opponent tricks you into stimming because you think you're about to attack, and he doesn't attack, like if you don't have anything like medevac, so even then you take a hit. Yeah,
you're wasting energy or you're wasting health for no advantage. So
exactly, and especially if there's no medevacs out.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. What's next? What do you want to talk about next?
Marine and Marauders, just a couple units.
Oh, just a couple units?
Yeah, 8 Marines and 5 Marauders, like we were doing. There we are. So of course now, the next step up is Marauders into this composition with some upgrades. We don't have to use them this one, like I got Concussive Shell, that's all.
Yes, yeah.
I won't use them. Of course, Marauders deal extra damage for Marauders, so during a fight like this, what Arn didn't do earlier is target fire the Marauders with the Marauders, because of course they deal extra damage, which is really important. You ready?
Ready. No stim?
No stim.
Okay.
Just a little fight. That was a total mess up. Let's look at that Marauder. Yeah.
Oh.
Alright. I messed up royally there. Okay, stim again. Oh. Bile stim.
Alright. Stim versus no stim.
Stim versus no stim.
Ready?
Yeah, yep.
Go on.
Hey. Whooped.
Even though it's come up pretty far ahead.
Yeah, it just shows you how stim is a crazy thing when you look at it. Like, you can deal extra damage for losing health, and yet come out ahead in a identical fight. It's really strange. I love it. Love it. Alright, so the next step up is going to be pretty much some tanks, isn't it?
Yep.
Now.
I was thinking Marine tank, or just...
Yeah, Marine tank. So if you just build a group of bio,
yep.
we'll show the differences between tanks and stuff. Oh. And of course, tanks deal splash damage. They're, nice to have. They deal good chunks of splash damage, and they have a very long range, which means they're very good for positional play. And of course, if we have a group of bio that just runs in like we're about to have, they'll no split. You'll target down the tanks, but of course, with the Marines taking damage as well, that stops his advancement a little bit forward. And can get it. There we are. Oh, an extra few Marines died then. And yeah, we can see the damage dealt. Of course, if you split your units, so not the entire ball takes damage, then you'll have an even higher success rate.
Take 2.
Actually, let me get more of a line concave.
Yep.
Ready? Alright, so this time it's concave. Of course, with the line going on here, all the tanks will kind of attack at the same time, which is really important. But this fight should still be in Arn's favor. You ready?
Ready?
I'm ready. Yeah. And that time, like, even with the better split from me and the better positioning, and with the split, just demolished that army.
Right, because I basically when I'm splitting, I'm minimizing the effectiveness of the tanks, and so my bio is able to overpower the smaller bio unit he has, and then his tanks just lose their effectiveness.
And then get some medevacs.
Yay! Favorite unit. Medevacs and bio, or Marines.
Marines. So here's a little step. If your opponent has a lot of tanks, like so, one way to see now, you've killed a lot of his Marines, where you're doing a double attack, and his Marines are brought out of position. If your opponent has loads of tanks just by themselves, you can load up your medevacs like so, or
I was gonna I would jump the gun there. So load up the medevacs like you were saying.
load up the medevacs, and then you just pretty much drop on the tanks. And you drop out the Marines, try to drop them out in a nice file so they don't all drop in the same place.
That's so many tanks.
You kind of wanna do the V thing, you know, where you move them and drop them all over the tanks. Like you keep them in the same spot. If you know what I mean?
Yep. Hold on, I'm gonna get. Make sure I actually have 4 medevacs full.
Yeah.
Yep.
And of course, people should be able to see what Arn is doing. So, you know, hotkey them, hit the thing, and then move them around. So, a marine drops everywhere. And if you do it this way, you know, it forms a spread out pattern for the Marines, which of course means they take less damage, and they kill tanks more efficiently.
Yep. So to do that, I can just click a location. Take a medevac here. Click a location. Hold D. Click on the medevac. Medevac will keep moving. And drop the Marines as it goes. So I'll do that again. Hold D. Click on 2 medevacs.
Yeah. Build some tanks.
Clump them together.
Yes, please.
Hold on.
And siege 'em, bad boy. So, of course, you can't really see what's going on my screen, but you can hotkey it so they start dropping the units as soon as they get to that spot. And then, of course, you just move it around so that. And then
It's a new trick for me.
you didn't know that. You can hotkey it to do all of that.
Yeah, I mean I knew you could hotkey it, but my understanding was you hotkeyed it to drop at a single location. All right, so I would do. Oops. So click location, drop, and then keep moving. Oh, this would be hotkey, drop,
See.
drop, still move. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
And that allows you to also, like, you know, if you do have 2 attacks going on, like if you force your opponent out of that spot.
I won't let you have victory. Sacrifice myself first. Okay, yeah, so basically you can do what I was saying earlier, but you can do it much easier by using shift and queuing it up, so it's less. You can sort of pre-plan things a lot more.
Yeah, well, that's really good because, of course, if you have multiple battles come in, then you can, you know, oh shoot,
I went too far.
Go on then.
Right. So if you shift click, you can. I think as you were about to say, it lets you shift your attention elsewhere.
Yeah. It works for loads of things, like stim as well. You can shift queue your stims. So if I shift click here and then stim, and then they're gonna stim once they get to that point.
Yeah, I know you. And then you can do it for tanks as well. You can have a tank move and then siege up. It allows you to automate a lot of things so that you can keep your attention where it's needed. Right, so he had to move to that location, then they automatically siege up.
And of course, this is really important for things like your 2-pronged attacks, your 3-pronged attacks, or taking advantage of something while you can hotkey something and do something, then go attack,
right?
And then when that attack starts happening that you just hotkeeyed, like you can go back to that, start micro in it, and it allows you to multitask really, really well.
Yeah, that's why I think that you'll see really good. You'll see professional players do 2, 3-pronged attacks, do multiple drops. It's not that they have 7 sets of arms and 4 eyes, but they've used that shift to set things up, so that they don't have to manually drop 2 different drops at the same time. What are you doing?
Watch this. Ha ha ha. They're all attack moving each other.
The giant tank Congo line.
Yeah. if one of them stops, like they start attacking each other, and then they move away, and then it's like, no, oh.
Ooh. There can only be one survivor.
Yeah. And yeah, that's about it really for the TVT matchup, isn't it? That we have to cover.
Yeah, I mean, there's mech,
obvious.
but mech doesn't.
Yeah. Mech's not for noobs, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Bio's Bio's much easier to do, much more forgiving because it's easier to reproduce.
Yeah.
Mech is a whole different ball game. But even then, it's not too. There's similarities to what we've already talked about. We already talked about tanks. The way we use tanks doesn't change, and then instead of bio, or specifically Marines, you have Hellions. They act as the buffer. What are you doing? Shall we jump into an AI game?
Yeah. Before this escalates any further.
It always seems to happen, doesn't it?
It does. Well, the thing is, like, this is something that a lot of players should be using anyway. Like, it's more so as you want to improve, and then once you hit like a higher skill set, and there's always like like other arcade or custom modes that focus on one specific thing, like your Marine v Baneland micro.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, we see that a lot. Like, that's a really, really popular one. But for basic stuff, just jumping into one of these things and just microing your ass off, like all these little different things, really makes a big difference. Like, and especially that we have these. I remember I just had to like jump into an AI game and hope Terran built what I wanted. Like,
right.
Like, that's what it was like when it first came out. So yeah,
customs make it much easier.
Yeah. There we are. Game is starting.
Yeah, I mean, once people start getting their feet on the ground and they feel like they're starting to get a footing for how their race works, and for these last couple of weeks it's been Terran. Once they feel they've got a handle on Terran, they can focus. It's much easier to focus your gameplay and say, well, my splits are really weak, against minions. I always have trouble splitting. So then you go find a specific custom game, of which there are many.
There are lots. There's even like official StarCraft Master one, which is really nice, because that works in things like your the tanks, like picking up the medevac.
Well, we get the medevacs and dropping tanks. Yep.
Yeah, that was so hard.
Oh, number 30 still haunts me.
Took me like an hour.
Oh, I wish it took me only an hour. I'm jealous. But I mean, if you want to still improve your micro and you're looking for some downtime, StarCraft Masters could be a fun way to play around.
Yeah.
And it can give you a feel for some of the higher level micro tricks you can do. Not all of them incredibly practical. I mean, like the very last one we're talking about. It's pretty rare that you would ever have one medevac, one tank, and 3 stalkers, and the stalkers wouldn't be microed.
Yeah, it's not really a game scenario that happens.
Yeah. It is a good example of the AI, which I think people. It's very easy to forget about the AI and how it works, but if you understand it well,
yes.
Even in pro matches we see this. Players, I don't know, like as a Terran player, MKP comes to mind. You'll see sometimes in Terran vs Protoss, MKP will bring his factory with him into the battle with his units because he knows that the AI naturally will target the Stalker AI will naturally target the factory instead of his own units. So that takes damage away from him. So, that StarCraft Master, I guess, was good for sort of reminding people that understanding the intricacies of the AI can let you do some cool little tricks like that.
Absolutely. I think talking about the drop micro, like it kind of has a part in PV with Protoss, do it a lot with the Immortals and stuff.
Yep.
I don't really know what build I'm going for.
I don't know what build you're going for either.
I think I got with one guess because I feel like it could be factory tech. So I just build it up. I will go for a nice expansion as well. I think maybe in base though.
Okay, I was gonna say either in base or a couple bunkers. Well, a couple bunkers might not hurt anyway. At least one. So we'll see an expansion going for or in-base expansion. That's the nice thing about Terran is you can make these early investments, right? But you don't have to commit to defending two different bases.
Yeah.
You can make that. You can make it in your main, still only defend like you're on one base, but get the economy. Start getting the SCVs for 2, and when you feel safe, then you can move out. Because almost all the Terran units can fly. So we're seeing 2. What are we seeing from you? 2 barracks, a factory, starport after that. Or
I'm a bit limited in my gas.
Yeah, I see. Just throwing down that second refinery now.
Yeah.
Hmm. 142, 150 gas. What are you going for?
A reactor on my barracks, and then a tech lab, then tanks.
Oh, okay. Tanks you see that. You see it. It's very rare you see pure bio in a TVT. Tanks almost always make their way in because they deal so much AoE damage, and they allow you to, Pewey's going for the much faster expand than his opponent, and tanks will let him play defensive and deal with superior numbers, because those numbers will have to, at least in the early mid game, they'll have to go up this ramp. And that creates a natural choke point where the tanks can really utilize their AoE damage and turn the tide in his favor. And on the reverse side,
What the hell is he doing?
it's an interesting build. It's just, it's interestingly timed. Its composition is pretty standard, but I gotta say, the AI's macro slipped me more than I thought. 200 gas pretty early, and not using it on anything. Alright. Siege mode is finished. And yeah, that. See, all those units have to go up that choke point. These two tanks are in range. So Pewee may not have had as many units at the very beginning, many bio units, but he had no problem holding that off. And now he is a base ahead on similar tech. He is A-OK. You're letting that, no, you're letting that medevac get away. It just flew straight over your natural.
Oh.
What are you doing, Pewee? What are you doing?
I don't have any upgrades for bio.
Alright, looks like Pewee's going to be a baller and push.
And boy.
And so he can push, because again, even if he has fewer bio units, as long as he gets good positioning with those tanks, they zone out space for him. So he can use those tanks and slowly push forward. And if an opponent tries to rush in, those tanks, again, will even the odds for him. Which is why tanks are such powerful units in TVT. Pewee playing it safe. Sieging up outside the ramp. So now he's got vision of the ramp. So even if his opponent's got a natural, he'll be on even footing.
And once the medevacs come, of course, I have some extra high ground vision, which is really important, actually.
Right. Because, so if you guys see here, Pewee's forward tank actually has vision. Actually, can attack up the ramp, past the ramp, but he doesn't have vision up there. So tanks have a longer attack range than they do vision, which is why Vikings, you'll often see Vikings used. You'll see medevacs as well. Air units give him that extra vision he needs to maximize the tank's effectiveness. Pewee sees nothing there, so he's going to move that tank up, slowly pushing forward with his units, always with tanks behind. Yep, there we go.
Still dealt a lot of damage.
Yep. Got a little out of position there, and I think if you'd had that
siege tank,
that third tank, trying to count, I couldn't remember if you had one up all the way back there. Yeah, if you had that third tank siege, that would have been fine. But that's as a Terran player, TVT is the opposing Terran player against tanks. You want to be waiting for that moment in which they unsiege, because when they're unsieged, they're incredibly vulnerable. And so that's when you pounce and you attack. And Pewee, I'm sure, is getting ready for the counterattack right now. There we go. Suits up. Again, everything's on that ramp. And he'll fight this back. Easy peasy. And again, with Stim, the units not only attack faster, they move faster. He could have chased down the tank, but he's going to finish off the bio reinforcements.
Well, I should get it anyway, I got Stim.
Yeah.
And tanks do not move very fast.
Do you have concussive? Yeah, no, you don't have concussive shell.
No, it's going to be upgrading soon.
So it's turning into a real fight.
Yeah.
Not like last time. Last time when you just won with super early Marauder. Behind this we see Pewee keeping up with production. Since he's going into 3 base, he knows he can afford 2 tanks. That Pewee should rally his factories.
Oh.
Yeah, because you've got 2 tanks there. They've already built. Adding on production, so he's going up to 6. So so his pattern is 3 barracks, 1 factory per base. Since he's on 3 base, he can afford that. Plus, he can afford 2 medevacs, and I expected to see +1/+1, but I guess no.
No, I don't have an eBay yet.
No eBays yet. So again, Pewee's he's setting up, and this is the other great thing. We talk about zoning. Tanks are also great at making, doing contains, both hard and soft contains. And this is Pew sort of starting to set up a contain, preventing his opponent from moving out of his base, or making it very difficult at least. I'd like to see Pewee take out those rocks because he gives himself another pathway to attack. But he's just going to move up because he sees there's nothing there. And with those siege tanks, he'll take this.
I just thought keep the tanks to move and siege up at by the ramp. Yeah, I love that. I really do.
Very nice, very smooth, clean play. And so that's the beauty of these tanks is, as long as Pewee can continue to push, as long as he's within that siege tank range, anything that tries to get close to him is going to get hit by a lot of AoE. So it makes it very easy for Pewee to stay safe. And now he's going to be... What are you doing? What are you doing? That's one problem when you try and drop. If there are enough Marines, you end up taking a lot of damage. Although Pewee has so many forces, it doesn't matter. He'll still overwhelm his opponent.
Sieged up the tanks, nothing get out of that ramp. And GG! I'm the victor.
There you go. Nicely done, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
3 base to 1 base. MMM tank versus MMM tank, and you had the better positioning, the better engagements.
Definitely. I nearly lost the first attack. Well, I lost the first attack. The counter attack nearly destroyed me. I accidentally just locked up. But never mind. And yeah, pretty much I just wanted to show you, like, of course I am better at the game, so I went for tanks. I like tanks. I can use tanks. I know how to move them.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just went from there. Got enough units so I could push on the AI, and yeah, he didn't siege up his tanks either, so that doesn't help.
Right. Yeah, I mean, tanks, pretty rare that you don't siege them up. Normally if you're going for siege tanks, you're going to get that siege upgrade. AI is a little strange though.
Yeah, the AI is quite old now as well.
Yeah. But you guys saw it's still good practice. Pewee was able to practice both his build of getting Marine, Marauder, Medevac with tanks, and also his macro, keeping up with both at the same time. So
yeah. So there we are. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you all enjoyed, and take care.